So I wanted to make a video on why chewing can be bad for your teeth. And that seems a little maybe crazy to say, but I will explain here about that. It's very hot outside today. I took the opportunity to make a delicious sport formula. I'll probably drink these, 5-6 hours. It's got about a cup of blueberries and blackberries, tomato, cup of cucumber, 3 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 3 tablespoons of dairy cream, half a cup of well water, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, about 3 tablespoons of honey, and about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, along with 4 raw eggs. And yeah, this stuff is great if you're outside and working, or even just to help detox the berries and the berry and the apple cider vinegar are very good for collating you-know-whats from the you-know-what. So with that in mind, it also kind of segues into the topic of the video. So chewing is bad for your teeth. How can chewing be bad for your teeth? Okay, well, I don't mean like, although I'm not saying it isn't good or it isn't not bad, is grinding the teeth, which people may do subconsciously. Although I think by getting enough raw fat in your diet, this can kind of be mitigated. But yeah, grinding the teeth, not a good thing to do. But the mouth itself is a detox pathway, for the brain. The nerves and roots in your teeth, the tongue, the salivary glands, the tissues in your mouth in general, I think. The tonsils are detox pathway for the brain, and particularly expelling things like heavy metals. So Ogenus talks about how your salivary glands will be detoxing, especially once you eat something. So when you start eating, your body's going to start breaking down and removing those old cells which are being replaced. Particularly, especially depending on what you're eating. For instance, I got my hydration formula. That's good for getting out, metals, especially with the berries and the vinegar. So that will be excreting probably some mercury from my salivary glands. And Ogenus recommends that, especially after eating, that you rinse your mouth out with some cream is the best 15 minutes after eating, because when you chew something, it's going to expectorate saliva from those glands. So you're going to have metals coming out after you start eating. So you want to be careful not to chew too much, also because chewing your meat too much will release the ptyalin enzyme. Well, not release, but it will coat the meat in the ptyalin enzyme. Okay, and that is going to inhibit how well you digest proteins. So it's best to just chew, once or twice and then swallow it. If you've got pate, obviously you can just kind of swallow that down pretty smooth, especially if you got some sauce. But yeah, chewing on things is very bad for your teeth. Especially there's people who say, you can chew dried cannabis buds. And I honestly haven't heard or seen of any benefits from this. Okay, so, Ogenus recommends that you could drink the fresh green juice or chew the fresh green buds of a cannabis plant for certain circumstances, if you need a pain relief, or if you needed, you wanted to detox. And honestly, it'd probably be best to combine the green juice with a little coconut cream and some eggs and maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and I think that would probably be really helpful in alleviating some of those cooked vegetable tars from the lungs from the smoking. However, Augenus has never said, like you can use the dried flour, because the dried flour is going to lack the enzymes, so it's going to leach the enzymes from your body. It's also not going to have any nutrients because it's dried, right? And it doesn't have any green juice. So even though it might produce a effect, it's not going to be helpful in removing anything from the body. And in fact, when you do all that chewing, because you do have to chew it vigorously, your salivary glands are going to be bubbling at the max. So what's coming out of your salivary glands, right? Mercury. What's going to dissolve your teeth? That toxic saliva that's in your mouth. Not to mention that when you're in chewing mode, eating mode, your saliva becomes a little bit more corrosive to break stuff down. So you just keep chewing something, even if it's like gum, it's gonna keep corroding your teeth unless you can like rinse your mouth out. But obviously that defeats the purpose for some of these things. So I just wanted to let people know that they need to be conscious of their saliva and their chewing habits, because it may be hurting your teeth, because obviously that's very important to do. I have videos on oil pulling and what I use to brush my teeth and all that good stuff. In fact, I just talked to a dentist in training yesterday. I was asking her, like, hey, if I want to buy a water scaler and I want to, could I pay like a dental student to do it? Is that like illegal? And she's like, yeah, it kind of is, because, you need to be licensed to use one of those on somebody technically. But she said that she watches a lot of videos. They just watch a lot of videos and they kind of throw them into it. So it's probably pretty easy to learn. I'm just a little nervous about it, because if you hold it in one place too long, it can kind of damage your teeth or your gums. So I don't know, hopefully maybe you're lucky and a dental assistant friend or family, and you can buy your own water scaler and you can pay them under the table to do it, and be hush-hush about it. That would be ideal, but it's probably not impossible to learn to do on yourself. I know Milk Jar 2.0 or whatever his name is, he does it. But like I said, it's just kind of scary for me personally. But just remember to wash your mouth out, because there is corrosive stuff in there after you've eaten. And this process starts once you eat something. I'm not really too clear on the timing, because Augenus always says to sleep and you wake up and then you eat and then you go back to sleep. So what is the time frame of where that isn't stopping? Because for him to say it starts when you eat something, but on the diet you should always be eating something. So what's the time frame for that to stop? Because I know you wake up in the morning, the best first thing to do is to do cheese pulling, eat some cheese and do some cheese pulling before you eat anything. So I don't know, that's I don't really have the information there. That's just what I know. So I hope that's helpful. And it's really important to take care of your teeth, because they're so important for the health of the rest of your body. Really, I would not take chances with your teeth, because they're important. Dental work is also expensive and painful and toxic, especially if you need something to numb the pain, if you don't have anything for that. So just for your health.